Alright everybody, this is the start of part 4 on the 1/24th scale Moon Buggy, the extra kit that you get with the 1/48 scale diorama from Space 1999. I just posted a couple days ago part 3, so I'm going to try to keep on top of this, and I'm still working on my health issues, so I'll work on that down the road. But I've got the base on my workbench, and I have the nuclear silo scratch built one that I did on the base that the Moon Buggy is going to go on, and I got to plug it in some power. I just applied a couple more coats of the clear red, to me a clear red, and I got it plugged into some power. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around so everybody can look, and hopefully couple weeks I'll have this project done, and then I'm gonna get back on the Franklin. I've been working on that on the side. I fixed the problem I was having with it, and I want to get that done and out of the way. But since I've been working on this for a while and I'm almost done with it, I'm going to continue on working on this, and then I'll get back on the Franklin. So let me go ahead and turn the camera around and show everybody where I'm at, and take it from there. So let's see what I got on the bench. Okay, I just applied a couple more coats of the X27 clear red Tamiya. I've got the orange, the yellow, and green in stock. I do occasionally use the clears on certain things that I'm building, and it works out fine. I think that LED, I'll turn that overhead light off. I think that LED is a 3mm, and that's all that this silo is going to do. It's just going to blink on and off, which I think is going to look pretty cool. On the inside here, you can see I got plenty of room because it's hollowed out with the epoxy sculpt and how I did this. And then I may work and try to add some detail to this control box thing, whatever you want to call it, on here. And before I get it into the spray booth and hit it with some primer, I do have I'll show you here, hang on. I do have the Moon Buggy in my spray booth. You can see here I used a semi-gloss, turned out really nice. This is almost done, other than putting the tires on it, and then the decals. That should be about almost finished. There's the Franklin base that I'm working on. I've got it covered with some Stanora's black primer. Then I'm going to go over it with the gray primer. I did the black to light block it. Everything's looking pretty good. This is the insignia idea I came up with. The lighting, I already glued all that in place, and that of course goes in the bottom here to light up that insignia. So far everything's looking good on that project there, but I'll get back on that later. But I figured I'd add it in on this. But there's a Moon Buggy in my spray booth. I don't think I got to do much more to that. And then back over here on my workbench is the base and the nuclear waste silo. So I'll go ahead and continue working on this and post up some more updates on this as I go along. So I'll pause for now, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, I'm going to go ahead and primer up the scratch built nuclear waste silo for the 1/24 scale Moon Buggy that I'm working on. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with the Stanora's gray primer. Probably going to take several coats, but I'll at least get it started, see how it turns out. Might have to do a little sanding to it. We'll just see how this primer works. So far it's not looking too bad. Alright, I'll take a look at this off camera, see how it looks, and see if I got to do any touch-ups or I'll have to do some light sanding to it. But I figured I'd show everybody on the scratch build. At least I got the first coat of primer on it, and I'll see how much more work I got to do to it before I apply any white paint to it. So I'll pause for now and talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, another update on the Moon Buggy. I just hit the two alpha guys with some flat clear. I'm going to let them dry and cure overnight, and then I'll go in the box and see what decals go on them. And then I'll hit it with a final flat clear. I thought about putting like a clear or semi-gloss clear on them, but I'm just going to go with the flat. Can't really tell. I hit them really good. This one's drying up a little bit. You can see it's still a little bit wet, but it's drying. And it turned out pretty good. And with the Moon Buggy, I'm finally finished with the Moon Buggy. I did have light leaks. I was going to overlook it and just not worry about it, but I figured why not. Just must have had a brain fart, because I wasn't thinking when I put the Moon Buggy together that the two SMDs that I got in the front would cause any light leaks, and right below the headlights was a bad light leak, and on the sides. So what I did off camera, I masked off the top, flipped it over, I hit it with Steinolra's black primer, and about 10 minutes later I went over it with Steinolra's white primer. I let that cure overnight, and then I hit it with the Tamiya flat yellow, and then I hit it with the semi-gloss clear yesterday on the bottom of the Moon Buggy, and it turned out really nice. Can't even tell that I want that extra mile to fix that light leak. And then today I did the top of the Moon Buggy with another semi-gloss clear, and then I'll wait and let that dry. Tomorrow I should be able to wrap the Moon Buggy up by putting on the decals. I'll look in the box for those. I know it should have some decals to go on it, and then I'll hit it with its final semi clear coat, and then the Moon Buggy should be done. And same with the alpha guys. I'll try to get all the decals done tomorrow or within a couple days, and then I can focus on the base that I'm working on for the little diorama I'm coming up with. Also, I have the scratch built, you can see it here, of the nuclear waste silo. I hit it with the Steinolra's Steinolra's white primer. Gonna have to hit it again with a couple more coats of that primer. But it turned out really good, looking really good, and I still have to touch it up in some spots. And I think, like where my thumb is, I think that gets painted red on the inside there, and then those little control things, or whatever you want to call those, on the side here and on the bottom, I don't know what color they get. I'm gonna have to look at the box art and figure that out. And then I got the LED finished. I got it painted with the clear red, and it turned out really good. So I'll go in on top here, and I'll probably use 5-minute epoxy to hold that down, and it's hollow on the inside here, as you can see. I figured I'd give everybody a quick update. Been working on this on and off. Getting close to getting at least the buggy and the guys done, and then I'll start focusing on the base. So I'll go ahead and pause for now, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, another update on the Moon Buggy. I would say I'm finished with the Moon Buggy. I showed in the previous video that I had a light leak underneath the headlights and on the sides, each side of the Moon Buggy, and I did my homework and fixed that up. I'll go ahead and turn some power on. It looks a lot better now. There's only light coming out where it should be, where the headlights are, as you can see here. No light leaks nowhere. So doing my homework paid off. It looks a lot better now, and I know the camera's going to bleed that light out, but it looks awesome now. And if I put it down like that, you can see it. They're just coming out where they're supposed to, and no light leaks. And I'm happy with it. So the next step is the decals. Here's a decal sheet for the 1/48 scale Diorama plus the 1/24 scale Moon Buggy, and decals look really nice. You can see here. And once I apply the decals that go on to the Moon Buggy, it's going to make it look even that much more better with the decals on it. And that'll be my next step. Then I'll put the rest of them to the side when I get around to building the diorama. But they look pretty nice for decals. Everybody get a good look. I think number 29 right there goes in, turn this around here. I think 29 goes right up in front here, which is cool. So once all the decals are on the Moon Buggy, it's going to really pop then, and then I'll hit it with a final semi clear coat, because that's what I have on the Moon Buggy, is a semi clear coat. Looks really nice. And then also there's decals on here for the Alpha guys that I'll have to put on those guys too, and then I can say that I'll be done with that part. The tires are done. I got them on the side, and I'll probably put those on after I apply the decals, and I'll hit it with another clear coat. I figured I'd give everybody another update. I don't know if I'll show applying the decals on this, put it on camera or not. I'll think about that here in a little bit. I figured I'd give everybody a quick update. Moon Buggy's looking good. Headlights look pretty awesome on it. And I'm almost done with it. So I'll go ahead and pause for now, and I'll talk with everybody later. Okay guys, another update on the Moon Buggy. Applying the decals on the Moon Buggy. It's taking shape and looking like the Alpha Moon Buggy. Decals are going on really fine, no problem. I just applied the front one right here, and it turned out really nice. I got the dash decal on. You can see here, looks really good. Those black ones on the inside there, I did that yesterday, and they turned out pretty decent. There's 3 of them, one on each side and then on the back. And then I applied the decal for the back side. It wires in the way, but it's looking good. Everything's looking fine so far. Now on the back of the Moon Buggy, here's what the decal was on this right here, and I took my X-Acto knife, and this shows it on the instructions to cut them out. So I carefully cut those out with the X-Acto knife, and I applied them first on the inside there, and then I applied the other decal over them, and it worked out just fine. Also wanted to share with everybody, I got these watercoloring brush pens. Had them for a while. I got 2 sets. You get a set of 6 in a kit, and this one I have right here, it's got a nice sized brush to it, and it just holds water, and I use this to apply my decals with, and works fine. I figured I'd give everybody a tip on that. If you want to pick them up, I think I got them off of Amazon, and you get different sizes from 1 to 10. Size of the brush you can see right here, and I've had these for a while, but I always like to get a set of 2 when it comes to paint brushes and stuff like that, just to have a backup. But it helps me out a lot when applying decals, and that's what I'm using on the Moon Buggy. But I figured I'd give everybody a quick update. I got a lot more to go on the Moon Buggy. You got to still put the stripes all the way around it, and then I should be finished with it, and then I got to put the decals on the Alpha guys. I figured I'd give everybody another update. It's taking shape. It's looking good. I'll go ahead and continue working on this. I'll pause for now and talk with everybody later. Okay guys, another update on the Moon Buggy. I'm done with it. I put the parts that were needed, the gear shifters and all that, on the inside of the Moon Buggy. I put the tires on, as you can see here, and they just snapped in place. The instructions say don't glue them, so I'm not going to glue them. They fit fine, and they really don't roll, so I'm not going to worry about that. And it's going to be permanently mounted on the base. Now I can only get one of the Alpha guys in there. Well, I keep saying Alpha guys, but I got coning in there right now. I'm not going to even attempt. Now it does say on the instructions cut their legs off or cut their bottoms off to get both of them in there. I'm not going to do that. That's your call if you ever get around building this kit. I'll put the camera down as best I can where you can see that I got the headlights on. I'm just running it off of a 9-volt battery, and looks pretty cool. The only thing I got to do with coning and Russell is, like I said, I got to do a flat clear, and then I'll have to figure out if I'm going to try to gloss or do something to the front of their helmet to where it looks like glass. And then I have to get the cargo containers. I have to apply the decals on those 2, then hit them with a flat clear. Then I'm done. I can focus on the nuclear waste silo and the base, and I'll just put the silo scratch built one kind of like how I'm going to have it on the base, like they're coming up to the silo, and like I said, the top's going to be blinking on and off with a 3mm LED, so it's going to look pretty cool, and it's going to be similar to what you see there on my workbench. Nothing spectacular, just the headlights are going to be on the Moon Buggy, and that top of that silo is going to be blinking. And that's about it for the base, but I think it's going to look pretty cool. I'm really impressed with the detail and everything you get with that little 1/24 scale Moon Buggy. It's a little tedious, you got to take your time, but you'll get good results. And then, you know, whatever clear coat or whatever you want to use, I use the Tamiya clears that I use on all my stuff, and that works just fine. I don't know when I get around to the 350 Enterprise and what kind of matte finish I'll put on that, but that's down the road. But I figure I can give everybody another look. The Moon Buggy's done, so I'll continue working on this off camera, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, another update on the Moon Buggy. The Moon Buggy's done. You can see here, it turned out really nice. I got the tires on, and it turned out really nice. Looks really good. You can see here. Show the back side. It's really tedious to get those black stripes around the whole Moon Buggy. It was really tedious, but I glad I had the solver set because that was a big help. It did a great job in softening up the decals so they can form around the Moon Buggy. But I'm really happy with it. It looks really cool. Turned out pretty nice, and the headlights look good on it too. The containers here, I've been working on those, and the bands around the container, I decided to go with red. You can go with red, black, or yellow. I think it is the choice colors. And since the decals say emergency, get it in, everybody can look at it. Emergency, what is it? Emergency equipment. Yeah, it says emergency equipment on the decal. So I guess that's what these containers are for, like emergency equipment. And then the little buckle things on the side, I painted those up. And then the scratch built nuclear silo turned out pretty decent. I'm almost done with that. You can see here, it turned out pretty decent. Looking good. And then Commander Koning and Dr. Russell. Here's Koning right here. They turned out really decent. The decals turned out nice, and I did use the solver set on them. They turned out really good. And then for the front of their helmets, I wanted to give it that look of glass, and I used Pledge Floor Care. Got it in this little bottle here instead of lugging around the big bottle. So I put some Pledge in a little bottle, and it works out. And you can see they got a little shine to the front of their helmets. Turned out really good. Thought about putting another coat on, but I think it's got a nice glassy look to it, and I'm not going to put another coat on, and I'm kind of happy with the results. So far everything's done. I want to see if I need to touch up on the nuclear waste silo again, see if I need to do any touch-ups. I might have to do a little touch-ups on these, but I think they look good enough to where I can hit them with a flat clear, and then I can put the decals on. I'm going to hit this with a flat clear. I used the glossy paint on the silo, so it's a little shiny there. It still looks cool. And I'm probably going to have it set up kind of probably like this. So it's not going to be a very big diorama, as you can see here. And Moon Buggy, you can see I got it taped off, so when I get the sand on it and I paint it up, I want to be able to where I can glue the Moon Buggy in place, like so. And that's about how it's going to look, and I can only put one of the guys in, or put Koning in. There's just not enough room on the other side to put both the astronauts inside the Moon Buggy. It's just the way it goes, and one of them's going to look good enough, and I'll just put her to the side. But that's about how I'm going to have it set up. And then the cargo ramp, or cargo containers, go in the back here. Figure out how these go in here. There you go, one on each side, I guess, like so. And that's how, I won't glue those in either, but that's how it's going to look when it's all done. It'll look pretty cool. This is going to blink on and off with a 3mm LED, and I already got that painted with red. And then the headlights will light up towards, probably it'll light up in here. It's going to look pretty cool. But my next step, since I got almost everything done, will be the base. I used my vinyl cutter, my plotter, today, and I'm going to have on the front here Space 1999, and maybe underneath it 1/24 scale Moon Buggy. I'll figure that out when I get to that part. This outer, the side of the base, I think I'm just going to have it in black, and then the top will be gray with the sand on it to try to I guess I can use almost any gray for the moon. I'll figure that out too when I get around to getting this done and getting it started. But I'm starting to ramble off. It's looking really cool. I'm almost there. At least the Moon Buggy coning and Russell's done. The silo's maybe a little more touch up on it, I think. But I think overall it's done. Now I need to focus on the base. So I'll go ahead and pause for now, continue working on this, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright guys, we're going to be working on the base today. I bought 2 bags off of Amazon of this colored sand. It's a real fine sand. I think I'll do the trick for the base. That I'm going to be working on. I'm going to use this tacky glue, apply it on the top of the whole base other than where the nuclear silo is going to go, and I have it taped off here for the Moon Buggy. And I drilled a hole out here for the wires to go through for the lighting for the Moon Buggy. I got a brush to spread the glue around on the base. And I got a spoon I'm going to use to like sprinkle the sand on. I got this off of Amazon, but here's probably the site you can go check out. They got all different kinds of colored sand, and I bought 2 bags because I'm not only going to use it for this diorama. I got other ideas down the road, but I'm going to go ahead and probably set the camera up and just show everybody how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to basically apply the glue on top and then sprinkle the sand on top, and then I'll let that sit overnight, and then I'll probably primer it up tomorrow. So let me go ahead and pause the camera, set this all up, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I got the base in the spray booth. I got the Res in my airbrush. I got the PSI about 30, so I'm going to go over the whole base with the black primer. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'll probably hit the sides first. Looking pretty good so far. I'm going to go ahead and hit the top. So far, so good. I'll do one more pass and I'll go ahead and pause and finish this off camera. Add some more paint. That's looking pretty good. So let me go ahead and pause, finish this up off camera, then I'll show the end results later. Okay everybody, back on the base. Turned out pretty good. With the Steinores black primer, as you can see here. And I'll come up here and let everybody take a look at the top of the base. I'm letting it dry now. I'll probably let it dry for a couple hours, or maybe overnight, and I'll hit it with a flat clear. And I can get mask off around the base and then get the top with whatever I'm going to hit it with, either the Steinores gray primer, or I may go over it with some Tamiya grays that I have. I got quite a few different shades of gray and Tamiya, so I'll decide that when I get to that point. But not much to do with the base other than primering it up and hitting the top with some type of gray paint or primer, and then I'll be done with the base, and then I can put the with the vinyl color I put on, what I'll have on the front of it, it'll say Space 1999 1/24th scale Moon Buggy, and I think that'll look pretty cool, like I did with the little diorama I did with the flying sub. So I'll go ahead and pause for now, and I'll talk with everybody later. everybody, another update on the base. You can see here I got Space 1999 ready on the front of the base. I printed that out with my vinyl cutter, plotter, whatever you want to call it. Kind of eyeing it to get it straight the best I can. Thought maybe putting a piece of tape down it would give me a straight line. I may still do that yet, but get the general idea. And the sheets, I got a set of I think they're 12 by 12 sheets, and I got two sets of them when I got the plotter over a year ago. And you can see on here it shows the Deep Sea Lab one that I did at 1/28 scale, and then now I'm doing the Space 1999. I still got a couple spots left on here that I can use and print on, but can't knock that plotter. It does such a great job, and I figured I'd give everybody another look. I'm almost there. Once I get the Moon Buggy on there and the 1/24 scale, I'll be done with it. Then I can put the nuclear waste silo right there, and then the Moon Buggy goes back here. But I figured I'd give everybody a quick update. Doing my best eyeing it, try to get it straight. It's not always that easy, but it's not looking too bad. But I'll go ahead, pause, continue working on this, and I'll show the end results, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, another update. I'm going to get ready to button this up today, get it done, and show the end results. Pulled the tape off here, that's where the silo is going to go, and I pulled the tape off where the Moon Buggy is going to go. And I'm going to use my 5-minute epoxy to put the Moon Buggy on in the silo, and with my plotter, vinyl cutter, that turned out really nice on the front of the base. It turned out really good. Then I applied a couple coats of the Tamiya flat clear just to seal that in and make sure that, you know, it's never going to come off. And it turned out really good. I really like that plotter. Does a great job. So you can see on the bottom of the base the wiring. I got the switch right here, you can see that. And then I glued it in with my hot glue, and then I tacked it down there, and then it's going to run off of a 9-volt battery. And now the fun part is I'm going to go ahead and get it wired all up. I'll do that off camera, and then I'll show the end results. So I'll go ahead and pause for now and talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, this is the final update on the 1/24 scale Space 1999 Moon Buggy diorama. Finished a couple days ago. I worked on the silo first. I wired it up, then I glued it down with 5-minute epoxy, and then I finished it off with doing the same steps with the Moon Buggy. Wiring it up, then gluing it down on the base with 5-minute epoxy. It runs off a 9-volt battery. It's a 3mm blinking LED right here. I used Tamiya clear red on that. I got two SMDs for the headlights, and that's all it for lighting on this little diorama is the headlights on the Moon Buggy and the nuclear silo. Now it's not going to be my first scratch built. It's not going to be spot on. It's not going to be accurate with the 1/48 scale silos that you get with a diorama, but it looks good enough for me. I used my plotter. You can see here the lettering came out fine. I applied that, and I went over it with a Tamiya flat clear, a couple coats to seal it, and that turned out fine. Can't get both of the astronauts in the Moon Buggy. Just can't do it with the gear shifting things. That's You can see it sitting next to him. I can pull him out real quick, but I just can't get both of them in there. And for the number one, I put coning on his top of his helmet. I don't know if the camera is going to pick that up. And then I used the number two for Russell, and they turned out nice. They look good. It's just I can't have both of them in the Moon Buggy. It's the way it goes. In the instructions, you got to cut their legs off to get them in, and I didn't want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the power on, shut some lights off, get that out of the way. You can see the silo blinking on and off. Looks pretty cool. The headlights in the front on the Moon Buggy look awesome. You can see here. Looks really cool. I'll do a top overhead view. You can see it. And I'll try to get the back here of the Moon Buggy. All the decals, everything turned out really nice on the Moon Buggy. Really looks cool. It'll fit my display case really nice. And I decided to go with a 9-volt battery because I only got the headlights and the silo that blinks. That's it. Turn the overhead light on. For the surface of the moon, the color I used was Tamiya Neutral Gray XF53. That's what I used. Turned out pretty decent. I used wanted to put a little detail onto the surface. I didn't want it to be completely flat, so I just went thick with the tacky glue I got right here. This is what I used, tacky glue, and I used that on the surface of it, and then I went over it with the sand, and then I primered it with black, and then I went over it with the gray, and it turned out looks really cool. I'm gonna take a small break here, and then I'm gonna get back on the Franklin. I figured out the issue I was having with that. It's all fixed. It's ready to go. I'll be starting up on that soon. I'm gonna take a little break. I've got some artwork I gotta do for a co-worker at work, and that might take me, I'll start it this weekend. I have this weekend off, which I think is the 27th and 28th of March. I'll probably get started on that, and maybe take a couple days or a couple weeks to get that artwork that she wants done, and then I'll get back on the Franklin. But I figured I'd call this a wrap on this and share this with everybody. I'll post this up on my YouTube channel this weekend. I'd like to thank all my YouTube subscribers. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Be safe out there, and I'll talk with everybody later.